goat, you move different. Gotta push through, gotta go get it. Setbacks are overshadowed by persistence. Life is a without the curse, like living a dream without the perks. Pressure makes diamonds already convert. You can pull a Hail Mary when life throws you a curve.
What happens to a dream deferred?
All right now. Hey there, mamas. It's your girl, Nina Shea, aka Mama Bear, and we are on the Mama Bear podcast in the den with some very special guests tonight. I have two of the baddest NFL moms on with me tonight. I'm trying to tell y'all, and they just happen to be the moms of two of the baddest NFL players on the baddest team, the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And I have my girl, Miss Vanita. She is my co-host, my sidekick.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome, everybody. I have to introduce first, I have a new NFL mom, Miss Nicky Worthy. She is the amazing, most beautiful mom of Xavier Worthy. He is the rookie wide receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs right now. And welcome, Nicky.
Thank you.
We're just meeting, so I am just so excited because I feel like I know you already. Yes. And then my girl, Miss Kisha Johnson Brown. She is the mother of Nazeeh Johnson. He's a third-year safety with the Kansas City Chiefs, two-time Super Bowl champion. And I mean, it's just been an amazing ride, and we've been here before, but we got a newcomer on board, so we just want to talk to you, share with our moms what's going on with y'all in your world. First, I just want to say, Nicky, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Now, welcome as a new NFL mom. Yes. So you got to tell us what this ride has been like for you. Just kind of new at this thing as an NFL mom. What's it been like?
I'm still trying to figure it out, but I was just telling my sister yesterday, I was like, technically, I mean, it kind of feels like what I've been doing like Zay's entire life. Like,
Right.
I mean, obviously the stage is like a million times bigger and everything, but like the same routine of like, getting your little shirt for the game, what time of the game, sending a little pep talk text, call, whatever you do.
Right.
You're at the game and everybody else is just having fun, excited, but you got all these thoughts in your head. Are they okay? Like, oh gosh, he didn't how's he feeling? Oh, that and I mean, it's kind of the same thing since Pop Warner is like it's just going, but I mean, the stage is a lot bigger, the stakes are a lot bigger, of course. So there's all the pressures and stuff like that. But so far, just being who I've been the rest, these past few years. So.
And I thought about that. It's like you're new to the NFL mom thing, but you're definitely not new to the game because your son has been, he's been a standout player since Pop Warner days. I mean, it's just been amazing. He didn't know who your son was. The whole world knew when he ran that. What was it, a 4.21?
Yeah.
In the NFL combine?
Official 4.21, yeah.
That is ridiculous. Vanita, we thought our boys were fast, but this is just a whole nother level.
I saw that.
It's crazy.
That's what I wanted to ask. What's you feeding that boy? I know part of being his mommy. I know you got to have a lot to do with that meal prepping. What in the world were you putting in his meal prep? Because he was running.
You know what's funny? Everybody always asks that. Like his favorite meal, like when he tells people, they're like, "What?" His favorite meal is like chicken taquitos, right? And I have to explain to people, like, look, we were poor when he was little. I mean, I'm still poor now, but whatever. We struggled. So the basic things I could get was like chicken, tortillas, cheese, some oil. And I would just do like a green sauce with it and, roll them up, fry it and like salt and stuff. And he would eat that before every single game or like big competition. I would do that. Like even now, if there's like a game on the road and I'm there, I literally like pack some stuff from California because there's certain stuff they don't sell other places, and I like usually make that for him. But it's like small things. It's just the comfort things, because he really eats everything. If you want to know,
Right. But that had to be
That's what
that
mommies
had
do.
to be
That's
genetic.
Huh?
I was saying that had to be somewhat genetic because it's not just in the food. Did you run track?
No, I didn't run track like competition wise. I was athletic, but like my mom didn't really let me get into sports like that. But his
really?
dad, his actual like biological dad, is fast and athletic as well. So definitely in the genes.
Awesome.
Mhm.
So when he ran that time, like, were you expecting him to run a time like that? Was he doing that already, like in college, running times like that?
He never had ran the 40 before then, actually. Like
Wow.
everybody wanted to because he was fast. They talked about him being fast. So they kind of, always wanted to see, but he never ran a 40. So that was the first time. And I knew he would probably get in the 4.2s. Now the 4.21s was like, oh wow, like okay, but 4.2s was expected.
Wow. Wow. Well, let me just tell you, when I sat there and he ran that time 2 times, right? Like right
Yeah.
back to the man. And then when he grabbed the mic and started talking to you and like know how much he loved you and how much he had you and was like how much you've had his back, I was crying. And I know everybody else was crying. It was amazing just to see the love. And I can relate, having a son that, he calls me his ride or die because, for years that's what we did. The competitions, high school, 7-on-7s, college, all of that. So that's crazy. That is amazing. Yeah. So how did you and Kisha hook up? Like, I mean, I know your mom's on the same team, but everybody doesn't gravitate towards everybody. How'd that happen?
You want to answer, Keisha, or you want?
Yeah, I answer. I was watching the draft and everything, and you know me, I'm a personal person, so I speak to whoever, whatever. I don't really have I'm cool. I'm just that type of person. So when I seen it, I said, oh wow. I said, Andy fast. I said, let me go ahead and just, because once he, was on the team, got drafted, I said, I'm gonna reach out. Because I didn't get, nobody called me. I don't know any other parents, to be honest with you, on the Chiefs. I don't. So which is fine. It's not a big deal. But I was like, let me just reach out and see. I reached out and told her congratulations. I congratulated her. I congratulated her son, and we just started talking. And that's how we ended up meeting. Because I ended up, introducing myself to her as Nazeeh's mom and being on the team. If she needed anything or anything I could do, I was here. That's how that went.
And I asked that question, Kisha, because I know you were telling me before that you just didn't really spend a lot of time. And because you work as a nurse, you don't have time to get to the games all the time. So, yeah. Okay. That is just so awesome. And so both of you have a couple of kids. Like, you don't just have one kid and that's all where your attention and everything goes to.
Right.
Nicky, you have 3 children.
Yeah.
And so do you, Kisha, right?
I have 4.
4. Okay. All right. Yeah. Wow. So that's a lot of sacrifice. I know exactly what that's like, to get these boys going, and making sure that they're straight. I just, I know Nicky's new to the game. So Kisha, I'm trying to find out as much, as I can about what this process has been like for her. Cause I know you've been there, and you definitely have stories to share. But another thing that I wanted to ask Nicky was just in terms of your son transitioning from college player to NFL, what has he expressed, to you was like the biggest adjustment?
I think what he's expressed, maybe not adjustment wise, but the difference for him is the NFL. I feel like he feels it's a little more. I don't relaxed is the wrong word because it's not that, but they have more freedom, I should say, in how they do, like how they work their schedule, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
college, like when they have to sequester before the game, you don't see nobody after that. That's it. And it's like the NFL, you go sequester, you get to go back home, get dressed, self to the game, like so little stuff like that. So little it helps him, relax a little bit more, I think, or talking to him. So little stuff like that, I think, is what he's liking. The work ethic is still, you still got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Those little breaks, I think, make a difference, and just being able to kind of relax your mind a little bit before like a big game. It's not so like crazy, wise. I feel more relaxed at the games, honestly, which is weird.
Really?
Like I'm sitting there like, freaked out,
Really?
Yeah, I mean, at the NFL games, I'm like having a drink. I'm a little more relaxed. I'm not eating, drinking until the game is over. Like now, that's right now. And I'm like, he's a vet, so maybe a couple bowl playoffs, they might get a little crazy for me. But yeah,
right.
A little bit more.
But it's interesting that you say that because I would think that you would be so much more nervous, because it's NFL, it's a bigger stage, and the men, you know what I mean? They like it's a whole nother level. Yes.
I mean, I still feel that for sure. Yeah, that's every level, like, but I don't know. This is different. I like it though. I like it. And I guess more for me, like it's that whole thing of like this is what you've been working towards, and now you're here, so I can relax a little because now like this is your job. You just need to sustain this now versus before you're like holding your breath because you're still trying to get to a certain spot. You know what I mean? Now you're here, like, okay, this is your job. And I'm like her. Like I don't go to every game either because like I told him like this is your job. You're a grown man. Like I ain't got time now. Like I'll come, but you need to be there all the time now.
Wow, that's interesting. So does Nazeeh feel the same? Kisha, I'm sure he does, right? Like because the schedule's the same.
He does. And see, my thing was like I told him, I'm gonna go to a few games, not many, because of my work schedule. And by me being a nurse, we're never off. We're never off, no matter what's going on. So the games that I had picked, I've already, chosen which games I'm going to. And there's a couple of away games that are closer to me in Virginia that I actually can go to. I can just drive to. So those are actually easier than me flying all the way to, Kansas City just to see a game, and I can just go 3 or 4 hours and go up the road. So a little bit easier for me.
Wow. And something that you said, Nicky, what were you saying, Vanita?
No, I was going to ask how you navigate that with him growing up at the time, coming up to the ranks as a young youth, being a full-time nurse. How did you navigate all that with all those practices and the games and the commitment? How did you do that as a full-time nurse?
I did I did travel. So what I was doing traveling. So I would work maybe 3 or 4 weeks and I could be off for a couple of weeks. That's usually, especially with traveling, because traveling pays a whole lot more than being at a facility like I am now and being stationed. Because I could travel, it was easier to do. But they work with my schedule. Plus, I always told my jobs, no matter where I went, my kids come first. So when it came to sports, that's what I was doing for them first. And they understood it. They didn't understand I wasn't working there. Like my family was always first, no matter where I worked. So they were more important than anything.
Oh, that's a blessing because I know those schedules are so aggressive and it's, you up so early. So much through the day and with all the practices, the weekends, the games, the extra training and all that, and then to be juggling and doing a full-time nurse, I was like, man, I was amazed when I read that. I said, how did she do that?
It was a struggle, but I love it. I would do it all over again if I had to.
Yeah,
I'm sure. But you did it well, so I was just wondering, how did you do it?
Absolutely. But you know how we do, Vanita, you did it. You did it like that, driving your son from all the way out there in Lancaster and coming down here to Thousand Oaks and for high school, like every day. And, all of the trekking and stuff that you did. That's what we do as mothers,
Right. And then, but having one, like you said, you can draw your attention on that one, but look it up. Wonder Woman.
So
you can't underestimate the love That's for sure.
Yeah.
You
One of
go
the other
above and
things,
beyond.
yes, one of the other things that really amazes me about just what we do as moms and just looking at, let's say, with Nicky, you had Xavier when you were 18, is that correct?
Yeah, I
Wow.
did.
So 18, and you are a young mom, and you
40 now. I'm not really young anymore. Okay.
well,
I
girl,
know that's right.
she got her own fan club going on, talking about she's not
I
young.
don't even know what that's about.
They on you, sis. They on you.
Tell her, Kisha. I don't know why she's trying to be all humble and low key. First of all,
I
my
am
son,
an older woman. Like, seriously, I try to tell people, like, what are you talking about?
I know that's right.
well, we know you're a woman, but you're still a young. I got to tell you, when I was I was looking at some pictures, and I was looking at Tia is Xavier's girlfriend.
Beyonce.
Fiance. And
Yeah.
so I was looking and I was trying to figure out to make sure who was who. Like, okay, is that his brother? Because girl, you look like you could be sisters.
I guess I don't feel that way, which is why it's like weird to like hear that because like I totally feel like a mom and an older mom for real.
But we don't look it. That's the thing. We don't look it. That's the difference. You
Right.
don't look
I'll
it.
take that. Yeah, exactly. I will take that any day.
Absolutely. Wow. So has Kisha been able to just really show you the ropes and for the most part just kind of help you, Nicky, in this, transition, trying to, just get settled and figure things out?
Yeah, I think what I liked about connecting with her is like I mean, unless there's somebody else, because it's kind of hard to go through my messages, and I felt bad because she had like hit me up like when it happened, and I didn't get to see it right away, and I was like, oh, a Chiefs mom like told me congratulations, like let me go back. I'm sorry, I just seen this. But
Wow.
it's more so like her doing for me or anything like that. It's just kind of like just introducing herself, like being kind, extending that welcome is nice because it's like I don't know anybody here. I am
Right.
new here, so that was kind of comforting. And then game days, I don't really like to text like a lot of people during the games because
And we
they like
text.
they like to freak out when we start losing and like 10 minutes into the first quarter. And it's like, that's it, we're done, we're lost. So I like to just keep my phone here, but like, she and I kind of text back and forth, and it's just this nice positive, like, all right, we got this, like, all right, defense, and it's just
Mhm.
it's kind of comforting as well. So I like that, about the connection with her.
Absolutely. That's awesome. See, Vanita and I, we had that connection in high school, because it just weren't, we came in not necessarily from the community, so to speak. And so, for us, we had our sons, they went to Oaks Christian together. And we connected like that. And it was funny because we were the ones that could talk, if we had some stuff that we needed to talk after the fact, you know what I mean? She was that
Right.
person that I could say what I needed to say and she could relate and vice versa. And then happy times too.
Everybody's got to have that real writer that could be off the record and just talking freely, because you
Correct.
get sick and tired of being sick and tired. We got to be politically correct 100%. Sometimes you just got to be able to keep it real and know that you can't go any
Yes.
further.
Yeah.
That is a.
And
But I have
somebody that
two
understands
main
too, because
I want to ask is when I had mentioned, I was reading that you did have your son when you're 18, and as an 18-year-old, how did you come up with his name? Because names are like so significant and so prominent. That's like a really strong name, and I was looking it up to see what the meaning behind it and some of the things that his coach was saying really solidified the name that you named. It's like prophesying over yourself and name your child a certain name. So I was just wondering, did you get that name specifically from someone? Is he named after someone in your family, or how did you come up with that name?
is that to me or to Keisha? I'm sorry.
To Nicky.
Oh, okay.
Xavier, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xavier. I'm sorry, I didn't catch that part. Honestly, my brother came up with that name. I was gonna give him a different
Okay.
name, and then he was like, no, I don't know. And then I wasn't really sure about the name either. I mean, his last name was Worthy, so he's like trying to pair, And then he's like, what about Xavier? And I'm like, Xavier, like that just sounds strong. I like the X in it, and like it meshes with the W, and it's like, so it was Xavier Worthy at that point. That's how he got his name. His uncle.
Oh, okay. Because when I was looking up some of the spiritual meanings behind it, it meant new
Oh,
beginnings and fresh start.
I know that's
I
right.
love that. And
Okay.
yeah. Even with Kisha, your name, I looked up his name also, and I was wondering how you came up with his name and the things that his coach was saying about him, how he was like so pure and so sincere and just such a blessing, and how he, really keeps the team up. And that's what his name, when I looked at the spiritual meaning of it, said it meant pure and sincere. So I just love the way that it is correlating, how it just really cross-reference like the things that you named your sons. Because literally when you name them, it's so important because you're prophesying over them every time their name is called, and how it just really played out. The true that kind of stuff is really.
That is so true. See that? You see
and
why
one other thing for Nicky
girl.
that I want to ask you.
See, I like that. I like that.
Yeah, I mean that's deep because I love the things that the coach was saying about your son, how he was so sincere and so pure, and just the way his attitude, how he was motivated and uplifting. I said, look at his name. There you go. It can't be denied. I love that. I definitely do.
Thank you.
And Nicky, I want to know for you, on your birthday, how he gave you the game ball.
Yes, ma'am.
I said, well, now as a mommy, I'm a mommy of a boy. Mommy's crazy about her kids.
That's right.
I said, well, she's the only one that can say that you carried him butt naked, rent free in your womb. That's your baby. You get to say it. And I said, man, just the joy of that, him being able to bring you that game ball. What was that feeling like? How did you feel at that moment when that happened? Because I noticed when he made the touchdown, he didn't even celebrate with his teammates.
Right.
He just went boom. He just went straight directly to you and gave you the ball. Oh my God, I love this.
I know.
Oh my gosh. I when I was there, I was like, I'm in the moment of it. But when I watched it back on TV, it just made me so happy because it reminded me of when he was in Pop Warner, excited after a touchdown, and he hopped up, and the way he just hold on, and ran over there, and his smile was just so big and sweet. And I was like, that's my baby. It was just so sweet. But it was like this full circle moment kind of, because I was turning 40, which is kind of like this kind of milestone, and then when he got drafted, he had turned 21 there at the stadium as well. So it just was wow, this little baby boy I had when I was 18, I'm here right now. I mean, in my wildest dreams, we pictured this, but I'm here, I'm living it. It was just I just wanted to soak it up and just sit in it and just feel it. And I did, and it was amazing. I'll never forget it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I watched it. This is so yummy. I was like, this is so delicious. I was like, man, how cute is it? I mean, literally when he was running, he was kind of telling his boys, wait a minute, I got some unfinished business first. Let me get my mama first.
Right.
Who don't love that?
I love it.
So I just wonder.
Yeah, right.
Oh God, no.
Yeah, I think
the phone dropped.
Maybe her computer, her phone. But that partially, got to be, the 90% of the love and the dedication and the sacrifice that Nicky and Kisha, poured into their boys. That's why they get that back,
Yeah.
So I think that's a beautiful thing. That is just so amazing. Yeah. And when you think about
moments like that, pure.
Absolutely.
It's so real, so rich, so yummy.
Yeah. I was I was telling my brother when I was watching it back, I was like, it's still surreal because when you're a sports mom, you watch football all the time with your boys. They want to be like NFL players. You watch the college, you watch the games, you watch Monday Night Football, you watch Sunday, you do all of that. So I was like, my son on Monday Night Football gave me a touchdown ball. I'm still
right?
it just
On
feels
your
regular
birthday.
with my son, but it's like it's not. It's like mind blowing. I can't describe it. You probably know what I'm talking about. Like
I
Right.
do.
Yeah, it
I
was
do. It's hard. It's hard to explain. You just
right.
bask in it. You just bask in it. That's all.
I can
That's all.
imagine. I can only imagine. I mean, I know, the exceptional feeling of having, like even in high school, but when my son was at college, he played at UCLA and Oklahoma. And, when he had that first touchdown, it was just like that first collegiate touchdown was just so amazing. I could never get him to come over to me. And I told him at some point, hey, like, come give me the ball or come at least give me a hug or something. He is not doing it. He's not having it. But just to be there in the crowd and to see and see them be able to fulfill their dreams like that is just, it's so amazing. It really is. And I know what you mean when you said, Nikki, how you watch them and they're working and it's kind of like, okay, you're here after all of that work, that they put in. Like, my son had 2 injuries, right, in his senior year and in his 5th year, and things changed a bit for him. But just seeing him be able to live out his dreams at the collegiate level, and I can only imagine, going to the NFL and being able to see that happen. But we are certainly blessed. We are truly
Talk about
blessed.
the manifestations of
Of
the
course.
fruits of the faith. My goodness,
Yes.
beautiful thing.
And Kisha, I wanted to ask you about Nazeeh's just making this amazing, the recovery first and foremost, the time and the effort that he put in, and then
Right.
coming back like he is. And as Vanita said, just being a blessing and an inspiration to his team and doing such a fantastic job. What has that been like, that journey for you guys?
Um, before he and as I talked to you before, Nina, on another podcast that we done, he
Mhm.
struggled. It was hard at first. Mentally it was a struggle because he never really had an injury that caused him to be out for a whole entire season.
Mm,
He's had little things like broken a finger, and he could still play his casted, that type of thing. So for him to be out a full season was a little different for him. So
yeah,
it took his siblings, it took me, his dad, it took a whole bunch of us to help him just to stay focused. But he was already focused anyway. It was weird because once he got his surgery, he was already thinking of, I need to get back. I need to get back to where I was. And I'm like, can you like heal first? And then we can talk about you trying to get back. That was the biggest thing. And then when he finally went back, it was more so, then it was a mindset. Because, when you get hurt and you go back, it's a mindset, oh, am I going to hurt myself again? Or if I'm going to shadow that or what have you. And like I told him, maybe one good hit, you'll forget. Something has to
yeah,
happen to you so you won't think about it. And that finally happened. And then it was just, he's back to where he wanted to be. He's back to where he tried to be. And he's not done yet. He's still pushing. Definitely still pushing.
absolutely.
How did that affect you though? Like, were you watching the game differently through different eyes once he got injured like that, or were you able to watch it the way you did before he had his injury?
Actually, I watched either way. Once he got hurt, I definitely was watching. More so because I wanted to keep him. I wanted to make sure that we were still. I had to learn about football because I have 2 boys that also played, so I had to learn about football because they would talk to me about football after games, during games, so forth. So when he got hurt and us watching games together because he wasn't with the team at the time, we could talk about it. So I knew what his emotions was. He was looking at the games of trying to figure out, well, what can I do when I get back type of deal. It wasn't, oh, I'm sitting here, I'm hurt. It's, oh, I could do that. I should do this. And that's the way his mindset was. We were talking about watching the game, sitting together, and him being hurt. That was the biggest thing. It's just trying to keep him uplifted and saying, you'll get back out there. Just give it some time. One day at a time. No rushing. We are not rushing any type of ACLs, MCLs, NCLs. We rush nothing. He will get back when he's supposed to be back.
I can
We're not rushing that. Not on my watch. I've been a nurse too long for that.
I can just remember the time when my son got injured. Before he got injured, I was able to watch the game peaceably and never thought about it. And that
Right.
first time he really on the field, after that, just just kind of changed for me. Meaning, like I was like every play, every down, you watch, like, oh my God, you don't want nothing to happen. You know what I mean? It just kind of changed with it. I just wonder if that affected you in any kind of way like that.
Actually, no. That's the weird part. You would think it would when he gets up there and plays, but I don't. Like, I don't have any fear because Nazeeh's been playing since he was 5, and he always told me, he was like, "Mom, listen, I know how to hit," and I'm like, "Yeah, okay. I don't know what that means, but okay." He's like, I don't hit with my head." He said, "I lean with my shoulder," and I said, "Okay." I said, "All right." I said, I'll see what you're talking about." And as he gotten older, I understand what he's talking about. Now it's making sense to me. So now seeing him play in the NFL, I'm seeing how he's tackling. I'm not really as concerned because he's knowing how to tackle. He's not tackling with his head. You know what I mean? And you see a lot of people tackling with their head, which is why they're having concussions and stuff. So I don't really. That's why I'm not concerned as much, because I know he knows how to tackle. If that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that's good. We can still be able to enjoy it and watch it and not be on needles and pins. You know.
Yes.
Everything this
Right.
You know, so that's good. I was just wondering how you were able to do that.
Yes. And having, you know, a son that's a receiver, you know, because my son was a receiver, Nicky, is, you know, I'm always looking like, okay, you know, because sometimes it's not, you know, your preparation and, you know, what you know you need to do. It's the other person that, you know, obviously that's coming for you. And, you know, it is such a it's one of those things that makes me, you know, makes me cringe sometimes, but I know, you know, we pray hard at every level. Like, you know, they had to convince me to let Theo play when he was what, like 5, 6 years old, because I didn't want anybody hitting my baby, but you know, but then, you know, as time goes by, you get a little used to it, but it's just never like, oh, okay, whatever. You always like,
Right.
you know, please, Lord, just protect him.
That's it.
But I watched this game with Xavier where he came into, I can't even remember who they were playing, but it was like, he was like maybe at just like the second, third yard line, and some kid was trying to stop him, and he laid into that kid so hard. And I just remember them saying, okay, you're not hitting him. First of all, you're not gonna keep him from catching the damn ball, and you're not gonna keep him from getting down the field. And you ain't gonna hit him because he's gonna hit you first. And I was like, wow, he is special. He is really special.
Yeah, I think it's because everybody is always talking about how small he is, which is like weird. I'm like, he's not that small. Like, you know, he's not the shortest on the team, and he doesn't weigh 160 anymore. They can stop saying that. Like, seriously.
No, that's right.
Right.
You know, gosh, but no, he you know, works on his strength and being strong, and you know, like to Kisha's point, like when they play a position, they know exactly what they need to do, and of course, there's always time to happen. But as a receiver, his thing is, her son is, he needs to know how to hit. My son needs to know how to avoid a hit, and that's called keeping your head on a swivel. So you understand where somebody's at before you get there. All of that stuff, you know, is really important, and like, you know, just trying to, like, you know, avoid injury where possible. You know, that's all you can do, and just, you know, playing your position smart, knowing how to play that. So, and that's the one thing with Xavier. He's known when, okay, this person, I can lower my shoulder and, like, you know, or I'm gonna take downs here, or, you know, whatever needs to be done. And for right now, just run out of bounds.
How has his going to the NFL affected his younger sister? You have two daughters, right?
Yeah,
Oni and right?
sisters.
Has that changed their world, or has it?
Oh gosh, yes, it's so funny. Oni is 6, and Reeson just turned 14, you know. And so Reeson at school, she just gets everybody like, your brother is Xavier Worthy, or your sister, I saw you on Google, da 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 da. And then, of course, when I got home yesterday, she was like, Mom, everybody's just telling me they saw you, like that, you know. And of course, they're sweet. He's a big brother. I will give Zay that. So he always spoils them, you know. Just called her brother. And Oni, you know, she's a little less out of it, but the other day she was like, somebody at school asked me something. And I was like, what did they ask you? She said, they asked me if my brother was Xavier. I was like, what did you say? She's like, I just said, like, she didn't want to tell him. And I'm like, okay, well, don't.
That's funny. Because that's just her brother. It's like, yeah, that's it.
That's
Yeah.
cute. I love it.
But you know what, Kisha, she's just as popular as Nazeeh. Because I mean, you know, I just remember we met because I wanted to do a podcast, you know, episode, and I just remember seeing Kisha on the internet, and I was looking at her page, and she's got energy. The dancing, I can't even tell you the names of the dancers. That's how old I am. But I mean, Kisha is just like, she's out there, and then I love, you know, that she's got Gabrielle out there with her, and she
My
just
baby. That my baby. That my baby. I always have her beside me. I was like, you know, we gotta do a reel, or my daughter, somebody, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. We gotta do this for the people. We gotta do this for the
I
people.
love it. I love it. And you know what? I got a question for you. What about her that does it for you? Because I don't see a lot of people having that much fun and kicking it with their son's girlfriend like I see you and your son's wife now.
When we first met, it was I was in Atlanta. I think we flew to Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
And it was like I've known her forever. So it wasn't, when she came in, it was hi, I'm gonna be quiet. It was hi. We just interact. And I'm like I said, I'm a people person. So I'm an energy person also. So it was the energy. When she came in, it wasn't shy off or it was, hi, how are you? Gave me a hug. We started talking. Instantly, it was instant connection. Talk every day, just like now we talk every day, nothing changes. It was just the instant connection. And it's weird because, like I was telling Gabby, I said, you know, I meet a lot of different people. And when it comes to my kids, I'm not picky when it comes to my kids, but I don't like everybody that my kids are with. You understand what I'm saying? And with my son being in the position that he's with, I'm very not standoffish, but I'm on point when it comes to my kids. You know what I mean? I'm really on point. So just us talking, getting to know her mom, her dad, just everything about her is amazing. She has degrees. She has stuff going on for herself as well. You know what I mean? And that's what I also love about her. It's not all about him. She has her own stuff. She ain't worried about him half the time anyway. We're always talking about other things that we got to do because we have the foundation. We're working together. It's just other things that we have going on that we're just focused on, other things that we love him and she loves him, but he's not even the conversation a lot of times when we talk. You know what I mean? So it's easy. It's really easy.
Would you say that she understood the assignment and allow you to be his mother and not interfere with your relationship and how you interact with your son? Sometimes girlfriends have a tendency to come in. It's like a competition between the mom and the daughter. You could never be in competition with a mom and a son, ever.
Yes.
Ever. The two levels, different levels. When they bring someone into the circle, as long as they understand the assignment, I'm the mama. I'm always the mama. Let me love the son. My son, I've been loving before you even was born and existed. And everybody's gonna be try to mess with that. That's what the problem is.
True, but for me, I don't get involved. Like I never got involved with none of my kids' relationships, to be honest with you. I never got involved. If they wanted me involved, they would tell me, that type of thing. I would get involved as far as like hanging out, you know, talking and things like that. But as far as me being a mom, like I would never, I'm trying to see how to put it. Like for Gabby and Nazeeh, their relationship is, I step back. Like I let them do them. If they need me or something's going on, then you call me. I don't just eject myself into anything. I will never do that. I don't do that for none of my kids. I'm not gonna do that for him. You know what I mean? So if they need me, they'll call me. You know what I mean? So I love it because I don't have to worry about him. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, she's all of that. And that's and that is the blessing that I could have ever asked for. They pray together. Like that's what I've been wanting for him. And he finally got it. So I have no complaints.
That's beautiful. So it's a win-win on both sides. You could trust her to love your son the way he deserves and wants to be loved and the way you raised him to be loved. And then she can lay back and tell you how to love him. Because after all, again, you carrying a butt naked in your belly, so surely you know how to. So understand both sides.
Yes, and I love my in-laws. Our in-laws are great too. We get along very well with our in-laws. Like when I tell you, it's like our families have been together for years.
That's beautiful.
I can say the same. That's a blessing. It's not, not easy to find.
No.
Sometimes.
Correct.
So I know the world, several people, Nikki, that wants to know, are you in a relationship? Do you mind telling? Be quiet if you
Nikki,
want.
don't say nothing. You better keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I wish. But
Girl.
No.
Okay. Well, shoot.
I don't want to settle. So if people are wondering, the next question is always like, how are you single? Why are you single? It's like, I don't want to settle. I could be in a relationship tomorrow if I really wanted to. Like I could get married.
That's right.
It's not hard to do those things. Like I want to be genuinely happy the way you're describing that relationship with your son and his wife, like somebody that really understands you, that you really can actually connect with just as a human and do life with. Like I don't need to be married just to be married or be a wife. Like I want an actual partner. So it's quite some time, and that's fine. I'm not on my time. I'm patient. So yeah.
As you should be. As you should be.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Yeah, because a lot of people, we see it all the time. They're in the relationship just to be in a relationship. And we're queens. We deserve the best. And I actually, it's funny because I see that in both of your sons' choices. Like Tia, she's an amazing young lady who, she's got her own sports career. I saw an interview that she did, and she's just so like, just beautiful, intelligent. She's got her own thing going on. And the same with Gabby, Kisha. It's like, to me, they are a true reflection of what I think they see in their moms.
Mm-hmm.
I really believe that.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I totally agree.
Yeah. So Kisha, you spoke about the foundation, and I certainly want to talk about Three's Promise. Tell us, what the inspiration was behind that, and how things are going, with your foundation. I'm
Sure.
sorry.
13's Promise. It's okay. 13's Promise was made because Nazeeh decided he wanted to do a foundation to give back. He was affected by mass incarceration with myself and my husband. So he wanted to give back. He named it 13's Promise because he's the older sibling of the three. Okay. So that's why he did 13. People were thinking that 13 was a significant number, which is why he wears the number 13 jersey. It's because he's the first of three and he takes care. So that's why he did the 13's Promise.
Okay.
And we're giving back to kids, families, a little bit of everybody. Anybody that's been affected by mass incarceration. So we did like a Kansas City back to school drive. We did back in, I think it was August. We've had that in August. We had something out here in Virginia. He had a football camp in Virginia. We've done like 3 or 4 different events since we started the foundation about maybe 7 or 8 months ago. Just going strong, trying to raise money so we can do another event. We're trying to do an event, I think, if I'm not mistaken, in Kansas City, like a turkey drive, that type of thing for Thanksgiving, and then do something again for Christmas for families. So that's what we're working on at the present right now.
I love it. Your family dynamics are so strong, and I see that in the community, and I really do see it in the people in the community and how they respond to Nazeeh, how they respond to you and your husband, and your kids, your other 3 kids, which is wonderful. I mean, the camp did extremely well, just out the gate, which was so great to see.
It sold out within 24 hours, and we weren't expecting, not that we weren't expecting it. It was just on social media. Like I didn't even get to put it on the radio yet. Before I could put it on the radio, I couldn't because it was already sold out. So, which was great because that was his first camp. So I no complaints. And it was a nice turnout. It was a really nice turnout. So I was excited for him. It was a good day.
That's beautiful. I love to see, when moms get a chance to, get involved in the foundations and really support their sons. And I know a lot of times, sometimes we are the ones that are we're the founders, you know what I mean? Or sometimes it's an idea that we may have, in addition to our sons, and we get a
Right.
chance to do that. So I love the platform of playing professional ball, and how people are able to take advantage of that and
Correct.
within the community.
Correct. Correct.
Absolutely. Yeah. So, when are you okay, first of all, that's the other thing I was thinking about earlier. Y'all are 5-0.
Yeah.
That's
5-0. What the
First time in 2018, I think. Right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
hell?
Yes.
That is so crazy. We were talking about this on the last podcast, and we was like, do y'all think y'all gonna make the Super Bowl again? And Keisha was like, yep. I'm telling you, that's what we
I'm
do.
gonna speak it into existence. We going for that 3P, baby. Right. We going for that 3P.
I love it. I love it. I mean,
You gotta
who knew you'd be 5-0 right now? And I believe we'll see you there. We'll see you in the Super Bowl.
Okay. What team would that be?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
No, okay.
No,
Oh, you I don't know who else is a contender.
Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. I don't know anybody else besides the Kansas City Chiefs. I have to. Look, I don't pay nobody else no mind, so I don't even know. I think there's only one other team that's undefeated, which is the Vikings.
Vikings.
Is the Minnesota Vikings? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I have to just is that so, Nicky?
I think they're the other. I think it's only two teams. It's us and them. I think it's the Vikings.
Wow.
It is. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Kisha, were you a cheerleader in high school or part of the spirit team or anything like that in high school?
I played sports. I was a basketball player in track. I did track and basketball in high school.
Okay, you just have so much team spirit, like with your dances and your TikTok things that you're doing, all that. And then you have the team colors. So I said, I wonder if she was like part of the cheerleading or the spirit squad or anything like that, because you have a lot of
cheerleading was too girly for me. I was a tomboy. I was a straight up tomboy. Yeah, cheerleading was too girly for me, so I played sports. I like to get dirty, so I even played football too. So it was like I was a tomboy, so I didn't have a problem with getting dirty and all that other good stuff. But cheerleading was just too girly for me. I like to dance though, but cheerleading was just too girly.
That's something. So your son,
you're flipped now doing all.
What'd you say, Benita?
I said she really flipped it now, doing all her cute dances and everything, all those cute skits and little dances and everything.
I know.
Trying to stay in shape.
Man.
Well, you doing it.
And she's got a son that plays basketball, and he's quite the basketball player. And he runs track too?
He did run track. He actually plays professional basketball with Valley Vipers in Virginia. He's a semi-pro basketball player in Virginia. So he's been doing that. He starts up, I think, in February, I think they said. Is they start their season back up. So he's been doing that. This will be his third year, I think, this year.
I love it.
Wow.
So did all of your, I think you posted something not too long ago about all of your kids, graduating and going on to do great things. And the same with Nicky. It was the open letter, Nicky, that you posted, that they aired. And I was just listening to that. And I was just like, when you said, you have just represented your city, your family, and no off the field issues. And both of y'all can say that, you know what I mean? That your sons, your kids have just really, been good kids, and they are representing, and like I said, a reflection. That's a beautiful thing, because sometimes people are looking, to see, when our kids don't succeed, when they're out there getting in trouble, and you two were able to keep your kids in something good, something positive, and it's a beautiful thing.
Thank you.
It is a beautiful.
I like that. I was gonna say, I feel like that's like a unspoken thing that people don't understand, because like these are like regular kids like everybody else, and
Yeah.
like
Correct.
things that other kids can do, and it's like, hey, they're young, they're learning, they make mistakes. Like if you're trying to get to where they are, you can't even make those mistakes. Like there's this
Correct.
type you have to walk, like you almost have to be perfect, which is, we all know, impossible, but they have to damn near be that. So that is like a huge part of them making it, outside of just like the talent and everything else, is the fact that
Correct.
they can't make mistakes like regular 17, 18-year-olds do, like
That's
you did.
right.
You know, like
Right.
you can,
Right.
you know. So I always, you know, try to give my props to those boys, including my son. Like that's not easy, and I don't think people really understand that. Like, you
No.
know, you want to do the same stuff some of these kids do too, you know, like,
Right.
but it's constantly trying to be like, okay, you can't, you're trying to get here. If you do it, a million people gonna see you, you know. So it is, that's a part of getting there too, that's really heavy and hard too. So
And to piggyback off of that, Nikki, that's even for us as parents. We have to watch what we do. We can't do certain things either. Not to my youngest baby, my 18-year-old, I said, no, go out there and do nothing stupid. Because you know we can't like we can't be out in the light. Nothing stupid. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people don't realize, like, you have to, when your son is in the league or any type of professional anything, you have to hold yourself to a certain standard, because everybody's looking at what you're doing. They're looking at you with a fine microscope anyway. They're gonna have something to say, which I could care less. Whatever. But the whole point of is you just have to make sure you're doing what you need to do for your kids. Period.
Yeah. And trying to stay true to who you are too. It's like I never want to become something I'm not, just to be
That
accepted.
part.
You know, so it's like I am who I am, but like to your point, Kisha, like you still gotta watch certain things, which is why, like for me, I keep certain social media private, because I still want to do stuff that I want to do. You know what I mean? The whole world seeing it and then making it something it's not. Like, you know, so it's like put something here that I'm okay with people seeing it. I don't care, but this stuff has to stay me, so that I can be who I am, you know, and not lose myself, you know. Either.
Absolutely.
I wanted to ask you guys this question. For the mothers like that are in Pop Warner or even younger, coming up through the ranks and have the desire and the dreams for their sons to become NFL players, what would you tell your younger self and your older self now, things that you've gone through that, you know, realizing younger, not realizing, because, you know, we only know till you know. What type of advice, what could you put out there for their, what would your older self now say to your younger self then? In other words, you know that how they always pose that question. That would be a blessing to help the mothers that are coming through the things that you've already gone through.
You want me to go first? Oh, Nicky.
Be very careful about your friends.
Ooh, yeah. What? You cut out.
Did you say be very careful about your friends, Kisha? Yeah, the company you keep makes a difference.
They can make you or break you depending on what's going on.
Are there things now that you could sit back and laugh about or smile about them now, like things that may have kept you up worrying about things, and you just see how God really worked it out? Like, you know, I'm like, now that you've already walked through it, are there things that you can look back and reflect and say, I was worried about this, worried about that, but, you know, if you stay on the narrow and straight path, that you're going to be all right and, you know, be consistent or what have you. Like, you see that it worked out for you guys that way?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Very much so. And I'm glad, because I prayed every day. Believe me, I was praying. I stayed prayed up, though. To be honest with you, I stayed prayed up.
Yes.
I mean, you know, just going through life experiences, the devil can have you full of fear and fearful this and fearful that. And you see how God always brings you through, and it's like, man, he had me up worrying and tossing and turning for nothing. Look how God just worked that thing out.
Correct. And they always tell you God never gives you too much you can't handle.
So, say that one more time.
No, I said they always tell you God never gives you too much that you can't handle.
Right.
Even though it feels like it sometimes. I'll be honest. I like, I don't want to do this. I want to be a regular mom. I don't even play sports. I can't do this anymore. I'm sick of this. Like, I mean, it gets heavy. I'll be crying. Like, it's like it gets very tough sometimes. Like, you just, and especially for me, like I'm by myself, like, and then I have my girls, and I mean, it just gets and even sometimes it gets heavy, but definitely, like you said, just like knowing like this is my path and I wouldn't be on this path if I wasn't meant to be here. There's a reason. I'm
That
just
part.
gonna leave it and keep going
Yes.
forward one step at a time and hope, know that it's going to be okay. Like, have my day to be what I need to be, but just get up and, just keep going. Because yeah, it gets real.
It does. And people don't really understand how it really gets. They really don't.
You see the excitement part and just think that it's always like that. It's like, nah, it's like a duck on top of water. It's like very smooth and beautiful, but underneath those feet are like they're going, and it's like that's what it's like it's great.
That's a very interesting analogy.
That's true. Let me ask you, moms, how have you been able to manage, like, I'm sure there's negative comments because everybody always like to say something negative, but as a mom, don't play that and don't have it. But I'm just wondering if there's been any negative things that you're like, how have you been able to resist getting that? What's that thing I like, Nina? That thing, what's that bar thing? Kettlebell? Taking the kettlebell, going beside somebody's head, talking. They keep their self-control.
Yeah, how do you do that? Because I've had a hard time sometimes.
Well, let me say this about me, because I know when Nazeeh got back out there, of course they were talking trash. They're gonna talk trash, and it's funny because people don't realize, like, he was on the practice squad his first year, and then he got moved up and elevated to the special teams, and then the next year he ended up getting an ACL tear. So he was gone all last year, and now he's finally back, and he's actually getting defensive snaps. So that's what people are not realizing. Like, and he's playing a totally different position that he wasn't playing. He's always normally playing a corner or a safety or a nickel. He's now playing corner. So I saw types of comments. I think the one comment was something about, I think, how he was playing or something, and I started laughing because I said, it's funny. A lot of people have so much to say, but do y'all even play football? Do you physically play it? Have you ever played it? Or have you played any sport? That's usually what the question I ask, because y'all talk a whole lot and ain't played nothing. You know what I mean? That'd be my point. And then, right. And I ignore it, to be honest with you. I don't let it really bother me. I laugh at it, because when he does something good, I talk my trash. I wait for the game to be over. That's when I start talking my trash. That's usually what I wait for. To
be honest. Oh, I love trash talking now.
How about you, Nicky?
I think in college, man, I used to get the urge a lot. I think when they would get personal and like may say like little personal things, that's what would make me mad. Before we got to the NFL, like, some of the agents, trying to get you with their agency, so they let you talk to some of the NFL moms to see how they work, whatever. And I got to talk to one mom, and then we talked for like hours. I mean, and she just was dropping so many like jewels into me. And that's one question that I asked her. I was like, how do you handle like when people are talking about your son? Like, that's your son, it's like any mother or parents can defend their kid. And she was just like, just remember that like you are living it. There's so many things no clue about. So they're gonna, for my son, like, he had a broken hand, he was dropping stuff. I mean, he catches like broken hand drop. That's probably what's gonna happen. But people didn't know that. And so you're living in the reality, and these people don't know me. They don't know my son. Like they're really, irrelevant is the wrong word, because we love fans. We wouldn't be here without them. But when they get to talk out the side of their neck about some stuff they don't know, you just have to realize like, that's okay. Go ahead, because I'm in this reality right here. And the only time she responds is if it's somebody with a huge platform and she needs to send a message, because her message attached to that person's platform is going to get out there. So I said, I kind of kept that like, okay, if I have something I want to say and get out there, if somebody on that bigger platform says something, then I'll respond to that to get my message out, But other than that, I just scroll.
So I remember, Kisha, you and Carmen, and Carmen's son, plays for the 49ers. You talked about that last time about how sometimes you just have to keep going because, as you said earlier, Kisha, you have to walk kind of thin line sometimes too as a parent. So you
Correct.
can't see certain things, and then you don't want to create issues and drama
Correct.
between the
Exactly.
agent and the players and the coaches and all of that.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah. I've had to scroll, in during college, myself, and people like you said, Nikki and you, Keisha, they don't know. They're just speaking, they don't have any idea. And then even things like with an injury, you know, a lot of times you kids are trying to keep it under wraps, or either like
Correct.
the coaching staff is just like, if your leg is not falling off, basically, we're expecting you to be out there and give what you have. And sometimes you don't know what's happening, with the
Right.
kids, with their bodies physically, even mentally.
Mentally.
Like right now, it is actually Helensky's Hope is a foundation that I support a lot. Their son, he committed suicide. He was Tyler Helensky was a quarterback at Washington University, and you know it. You don't know mentally what's happening, with kids, and we know that players on a youth level all the way up to being men in the NFL, they're
Correct.
so much, and most of the time they have to have that tough exterior, but they're going through stuff on the inside. So people sometimes are just so cruel to not really think about that.
Yeah.
That's Mhm.
That's a lot of it. People don't realize sometimes, even though the players, they don't even really pay it no attention, but you gotta people just talk out the side of their neck a lot of times. So you just can't pay it no attention. Like I always tell Nazeeh, he don't even look at the social media of anything. He doesn't read anything. He doesn't pay it any attention. It could be something in the paper. He wouldn't know what it was because he pays it no attention. I would send it to him. That's how he would know about it, because it's not because he's looking for it. Because I Google my son. Like I told you before, I Googled my son. I'm always Googling for something, but I've done it since high school. So I just continue to do it.
Well, it's good to know what's out there.
I feel like you need to make sure there's nothing popping up. I need to see what's
Correct.
going on. Yeah, for sure.
And even with my son, there'd be things that he wouldn't even tell me about. And I'd read about it and I'd be like, what? You did this, you were that. And it's like he just wouldn't say anything. And you'd be like, Dad, you wouldn't know unless you did,
Right.
go online and try to figure things out, or somebody else would send it to you.
Right.
Crazy.
That's a mother's right. Carrying butt naked in your belly, you got right to do that. That's all right.
Y'all got that right, like butt naked in your belly.
You're right.
Okay.
You're right.
Nobody can top that.
Nope.
So I'm just so glad that we were able to share with everybody what this journey has been like for the two of you. When I said, we're talking to two of the baddest moms in the NFL, I sincerely mean that. Because, like I said, your sons are a reflection of you, and all that you poured into is what we're seeing. And it really is great, great inspiration for young kids that are coming up. These kids nowadays, they're making money. It's a crazy business from such a young age. So they really need to have role models and be able to know how to conduct themselves, from early on.
Yeah.
So that is truly amazing. Nikki, I noticed your shirt. I love your shirt. It says what is it? Okay. I like that. I like So I don't know that you have a foundation, or if you all are working on starting one. I'm sure that usually is something that moms do get involved in. But earlier, I remember Kisha said that you were dropping off meals to a football team where you're from.
Yeah, we are working on the foundation part. Yes, and that's my job as the mother.
Well done. All right.
Nicky, I'm with you, baby. I'm with you, sis. I'm with you.
Yes, working on that, and I'm thinking like probably like early next year is like my goal for that, and I want to focus on, because with Xavier I'm so big on like, I was trying to choose between, like, I was gonna say mental health, but then I was like kind of Googling the difference between mental wellness and mental health, and there actually is a difference. So I kind of want to focus on mental wellness, because if you practice mental wellness techniques, you can avoid a lot of mental health issues. You know what I mean?
Amen.
So,
yeah.
And then what they do for a living, like I always say, like, your mind is your biggest asset. I mean, your body is too, but like if like you were saying with the injury, it's this mental thing to get you through it. You know what I mean? Your mind has to push your body. So just taking care of that, and then also on the side of parents as well, like we have to be mentally well in order to support them. And how do you take care of yourself? And to Ms. V's question earlier, like what I would tell my younger self or younger moms is like, don't forget about you in the process. Because I know for me, like trying to push my son and everything that had to get done, like I neglected myself like a lot, and it showed. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
You feel like you have no choice and stuff, but like now seeing like I can make small changes in my life, and it's not about money, but small changes in my life to like pause for me, take care of me. And I feel like it shows. I feel more youthful. I feel I have more energy versus back then I was running ragged. So once we get that going, those are things I want to focus on. But yeah, right now his team, we signed up for his old high school, their varsity team meal, because they have a game tomorrow. I don't know why I picked today, because I literally got back at 12, and I thought it was tomorrow. Thank God the lady called me, because I was like, oh yeah, got it. I got a few hours of food, like.
Yeah, I love it.
Will be kind of like the means to do it, but for now, like Zay had a camp in April here in Fresno, which was really cool. The kids just loved it. It's just amazing to just watch like your son inspire little kids, because your son being that little boy, like it is just so heartwarming. But yeah, I'm excited to get that going. So Kisha, I probably have questions for you. How to get and stuff. But,
I'm here, sis. I'm here.
Absolutely. I love it. And so, I have a group, a community on Facebook, and definitely want to expand. And it's a Mama Bear network. And, for me, the purpose of that was to create a space for us to be able to share. And for us to be able to just kind of let everybody know, what's going on, what you're doing with your foundation, Kisha's doing with her foundation, what Miss V has going on in her community, and how she's, being a witness and, just being there for folks. And, she's a pastor. So, Miss V, she's always looking out for people.
Now. Okay. I'm getting
okay.
But you know what? She's a different kind of pastor now. She just said, she's not the kind that just, you just go and see in church on Sunday and that's it. Miss V she right out there with you talking and stuff.
I know that's right.
And I love that.
I'm just like moms. It's like you're not gonna let society dictate to you how you're gonna react or live your life. It's like God especially made me like He did everybody else. I do His work, but I still get to be me. I'm not gonna lose myself either. So I'm
I know that's right.
Character at the same time. Nothing wrong with that.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Kisha, did you want to share? And I'm definitely going to. We'll have a edited version, that we're going to post, and I'll definitely share, about the foundation.
Sure.
Anything, that you want to put out there.
The foundation is 13's Promise Foundation. .org is what it's what it is. But if you I'm trying to remember, because you call it me trying to think and talk at the same time, trying to remember to make sure I spell it right, because we got hyphens. And the easiest way to find me, though, if you do Kisha Johnson Brown on Facebook or Baby Girl Brown on IG or Twitter. I think it's NFL Mom. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I got so many different ones.
Okay.
I can't remember at the time right now because it's. But the easiest one is the Kisha Johnson Brown or the Baby Girl Brown would be to be able to find the 13th Promise website because I have those links on my pages as well. So.
Okay. And you, Nikki?
Oh, what for my?
Is there anything that you wanted to kind of share? Like, let everybody know where to look, what to get involved in?
Next year, early next year, Zay's Foundation. I don't have the name quite yet, but yes.
Right. Yes.
Coming.
Absolutely. Well, I do appreciate y'all. The one thing that I didn't ask is how, I was talking to a woman who she's an NFL mom, Angela Pride. And she was just talking about how things have changed, how it changed once her son started playing professionally, how people change, how they treat you differently, or sometimes people coming at you. Now everybody want a ticket and they're not realizing, what the tickets cost, to come to the Super Bowl and to go here and to go there. And you got to remember that these kids are making it, but it ain't, you're just not throwing it out on the street. It's a real funny experience, and I can't wait to see how this journey is going to unfold. And then, when y'all get ready to go to the Super Bowl, how it's going to be, how people going to act, and and what that's going to be like. But I believe that y'all are going to be there, and I just want to congratulations again on your boys' success and your success, because this is an opportunity. It really is great for you to be able to live your dream out, the work and the sacrifice that you put in to your son. So I applaud you. Thank you for taking the time, and happy birthday, Miss Nicky. And I just want to thank everybody for tuning in to the Mama Bear podcast. We had a great time tonight. Thank you, Ms.